Good afternoon. Morning 6162 Wolves here. 11 May. I have some very disconcerting and heart-tugging news for you today. And as we have suspected, tsunami garbage piling up on West Coast beaches. It's by CBC News, British Columbia, www.cbc.ca. And this just came out initially last night and then has been updated today. Excuse me. It's been updated a little bit just in the last 24 hours or so. CBC News, British Columbia, tsunami garbage piling up on West Coast beaches. Ocean debris believed to be from Japan is posed for a photograph on Long Beach in Tofino. Jonathan Hayward, CP Images. Well, the debris is posed. Well, people have posed it. There they are. Very troubling story. Daybreak North is the name of the CBC program that featured this story. There is an audio. I'll take you there in just a bit. Debris from Japan's earthquake and tsunami is now littering the beach of Haida Gwaii, raising concerns about who is going to clean up the tons of garbage expected to wash ashore on the west coast. In recent months, some of the first debris that drifted across the Pacific has been intriguing, including a container with a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, some volleyballs that have been traced back to their owners, and even an unmanned fishing vessel that was sunk by the U.S. Coast Guard. And we know about the ghost ship. But now local residents like commercial fisherman Bruce Stewart Burton see there is more and more junk arriving, and it is making a mess. It is just beginning, and if they leave it alone, you won't even be able to see the logs on the beach. It will be so covered in plastic and foam and debris and general garbage from the tsunami, you wouldn't even be able to walk on the logs, he said. BC Parks has told people not to pick it up, but Stuart Burton says he's already been salvaging some of the usable fishing gear. He goes on to say, I filled the back of my truck up. I picked up 30 buoys that were of pretty decent quality, but there were like hundreds of buoys that are cracked, broken, things that I couldn't use. Aside from 2 wolves, notice that he says hundreds of buoys. Going on to the article, no cleanup plan in place. Joan Merrick, the Chief Administrative Officer for the Skeena Queen Charlotte Regional District, says the local government is trying to figure out how to clean up the mess and who will pay for it. There's a photo of the motorcycle. She said, so I mean, if we're talking large volumes of debris, it could quickly fill the current phase of the landfill, and there's a cost to the public to do closure on that. There is a cost. We're not sure what that cost is going to be because we don't really have any idea of volumes, and there's all sorts of unknowns. Scientists at the University of Hawaii say a field of about 18 million tons of debris is slowly being carried by ocean currents towards North America. Now, this is the part that I want to point out to our family, to anyone else who's watching this, and this is what's heartrending. And don't think for one moment, mind you, that those who may have, and notice I'm qualifying that, may have had a part in instigating the Fukushima disaster, don't think they didn't know this. Of course they did. The Kuroshio ocean current runs in an almost direct path from Japan's east coast over to North America, passing right by the islands of Haida Gwaii, about 750 kilometers northwest of Vancouver. The March 11th, 2011 tsunami was generated, and so on and so forth. Okay, well, we need to know, and we need to be aware that there is a deliberate despoilment of our sacred places going on. Haida Gwaii is among the most sacred of all First Nations places, and as we know, as I've talked about previously in earlier vids, and as many other excellent YouTubers and others have been saying, the groundswell of opposition to the Enbridge pipeline has been coming from the Haida Gwaii people and those in the Prince Rupert area. Now look and see What part of the world is being despoiled by the tsunami garbage more than any other? Just show you the comment section. There's actually 146 of them to date. Some of them are quite ridiculous. Some of them are quite good. This is a role for volunteers in government where we can collectively pool our resources to deal with this. That way the burden is spread out over a large pool of resources. The people of Japan have enough on their plate over this already. BC has a long history of collecting garbage. Most of our political refuse ends up in Victoria. That said, there's just a wide variety of comments. Add yours. www.cbc.ca/news/Canada/British Columbia story, and so on. There it is. Now we'll go back to the audio from Daybreak North, and I'll just start it. I won't play the whole thing, but you can listen to this.
Haida Gwaii's beaches are slowly being consumed by a swarm of Japanese debris, and it's leaving local government looking for answers as to how to clean up the mess and who will pay for it. Joe Merrick is the Chief Administrative Officer for the Skeena Queen Charlotte Regional District. So, if we're talking large volumes of debris, it could quickly fill the current phase of the landfill, and then there's a cost to the public to do closure on that. There's a cost. We don't know what that cost is going to be because we don't have any idea really of volumes and all sorts of unknowns. That is Joan Merrick. She's the Chief Administrative Officer for the Skeena Queen Charlotte Regional District. Well, a commercial fisherman who lives in Old Masset has had an up-close encounter with the debris. I spoke with Bruce Stewart Burton earlier. How much more is there now from past years?
Oh, well, it's been quite a while since I've been down there, but I don't know, about 10 years ago I camped down there, and we went we'd pick agates in the morning, and we'd walk over the logs and things like that to look for glass balls, and it was basically clean except for you'd see the odd drift net buoys and of course some crab floats from the local crab boats, and a Japanese bottle would be rare to see on the beach then, and now it's just horrible. It's if you're walking over the logs, you have to flip through the debris to try and look for a glass ball.
So you're not coming across Harley David motorcycles or volleyballs from
that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got to see that laying on the beach, and we got to see the container that it came in. That was they were separated by about a half a mile. The big container had drifted north because it's styrofoam sides keep it floating, I guess.
Right.
So that.
Okay, so this is Warning 616, Two Wolves Out, but go to the website, listen to the remaining 6 minutes or so, and be thinking about this. Keep Haida Gwaii in your prayers. The most beautiful, sacred place. There are many costs involved, and the worst cost of all is what this will do to the people, their heritage, and the beauty of sacred places. Oh, this is Warning 616. Whimpering about. My wolves are sort of whimpering on this one. Two wolves out.